Okay, chapter 7 is titled Blizzard Conditions. That afternoon, Noah met Ella and Richie inside the zoo entrance, beside the water fountain. The weather was unusually cold for October. Ella wore fluffy pink earmuffs that looked like big globs of cotton candy stuck to her ears. Richie wore his favorite winter hat, a stocking cap with a ribbed cuff, and a large red pom-pom on top. The pom-pom shook whenever Richie moved. "You guys ready for this?" Noah asked. Ella winked and smiled at Noah. Richie nodded his head and his pom-pom. Ella said, "Let's check out that note again, the one the birds gave you." They found a private spot beneath a tree. Noah opened the crumpled paper, and the three children focused on the page. The writing started in the middle of a sentence and the middle of a thought, as it did on the note that Mr. Talltail had given him. "Too much going on, too much I don't understand. I'm so confused. I've been investigating the underwater tunnel at the polar pool in Arctic Town. The lady who works there always watches me as if she suspects something. It's creepy. She always asks if I'm with my parents, and I just say yes." Ella turned to Noah and asked, "Did you know she was coming here?" "Nuh-uh." "Those piano lessons she was taking with Miss Courtney, the ones over the summer, I bet if we check into that—" Ella stopped herself, realizing that she was about to call Megan a liar. Noah finished her thought saying, "I bet she can't even play chopsticks." They exchanged a knowing look and turned their attention back to Megan's note. "Anyway, I need to go home. Noah's probably home already, and I'm supposed to be there. I'll tell him and the other scouts about this soon, but right now they'd probably think I'm crazy. All for now, Megan. P.S. I almost forgot. I have to remember to watch the polar bears when the zoo starts to close. They get real active. It's best to watch them from the glass tunnel, especially around the polar pool's curves and corners. I know I saw light coming." The writing ended. Noah turned the paper over. The second side was too smeared to read anything except a few lines. "Only has two polar bears, Frosty and Blizzard. But if I saw what I think I saw, this whole thing is getting really weird. For a second, I saw three bears. Is that possible? That was the end of the back of the page. Richie said, "Wait, the zoo only has two polar bears." "Yeah," Noah said, "and it's only supposed to have 50 birds, not thousands." The scouts stood together in silence. The wind blew Megan's note, making it flutter and snap in Noah's hand. "This is real, isn't it?" Ella asked. "Yeah," Noah said. "This is really happening." "Come on," Richie said as he settled the wiggly pom-pom on his cap. His voice sounded unusually courageous. "Let's go to the tunnel and see how many bears we find." They turned and headed deeper into the zoo. Arctic Town was an area of the zoo designed to look like a cold Arctic landscape. From the concession stands to the restrooms, all the buildings were shaped like igloos. Plastic icicles dangled from every ledge, sheets of plastic ice lay across the sidewalks, and signs cautioned visitors, "Watch for ice on path." The design had a cool effect in winter, but a rather lame one in summer. Could children believe it was cold when snow cones were melting down their fingers? In no time, the scouts reached the polar pool. Set on an icy-looking landscape, the exhibit had a long, winding, in-ground pool. A flight of narrow stairs descended 20 feet into the earth and led to a glass-walled underwater tunnel which reached across the middle of the pool. "Let's go," Noah said. They rushed down the stairs and stepped into a glass room that looked into the pool. Though this room had a spectacular view, the real attraction was the tunnel. It started at the room they were in, snaked through the water, and opened into a second glass room at the other end, which was barely visible from here. It was like a hamster's plastic tunnel, but 1,000 times larger. The scouts strolled into the tunnel. They felt as if they were walking directly into the pool. Inside the tunnel, they joined a bunch of kids who were watching Blizzard. Blizzard, capital B, because it's the name of the polar bear. The bear was trying to sink an orange barrel with his thick legs, which moved sluggishly through the water. He was enormous. After a while, Frosty started to wrestle with Blizzard. A few minutes passed, and Blizzard swam over the tunnel, casting his shadow over the visitors beneath him. He planted his paw on the glass directly above Richie. It was bigger than Richie's head. The scouts stared into the tank, hoping to catch sight of something unusual. A third bear, perhaps, but they saw nothing. Noah suggested it was too early for anything weird to happen. To kill time, they decided to leave the tunnel and have a snack at one of the igloo concession stands upstairs. On their way, Richie pretended to slip on a patch of ice that had spilled across the sidewalks. "Hey guys," he called. "Whoa." His arms flailed and the pom-pom on his cap wobbled. About 20 seconds into his routine, he lost his balance and crashed on his butt. "Richie," Ella said, "if you don't knock it off, we're going to put you in with the monkeys." Richie climbed to his feet and rubbed his sore rear end. After wasting an hour, they returned to the polar pool, made their way into the tunnel, and waited anxiously for something to happen. Before long, a lady announced through a loudspeaker that the zoo would close in 15 minutes. Parents collected their children and headed for the exit. Within minutes, the action scouts were the only ones left in the tunnel. "Megan said it happened late in the day," Noah said, "and that's when all that stuff with the birds happened to me." "Yeah," Ella said. Frosty and Blizzard swam at one end of the pool, their massive paws deftly slicing the water. "See anything unusual?" Noah asked. "Nuh-uh," said Richie. The three children stood with their faces pressed against the tunnel wall. Their breath clouded the glass. Silence hung in the air and time passed. Then, out of nowhere, Richie said, "I got a joke." "What?" Ella moaned. "A joke. I got a joke." Without looking away from the pool, Noah said, "Go ahead." "Ready?" Richie asked. "For crying out loud," Ella said. "Stalling isn't going to make it funnier." Richie cleared his throat and said, "What's white and furry and shaped like a tooth?" "What's what?" "What's white and furry and shaped like a tooth?" "I don't know," Noah said. "What?" "A molar bear." No one laughed. Noah and Ella just stood and peered into the water. "A molar bear," Richie repeated. "Don't you guys get it?" "Of course we get it," Ella said. "We're just not 6 anymore." "Geez," Richie said. "I guess." "Quiet," Noah said. "I see something." "What? Where?" Richie said. "Light. I saw a light." Noah had seen a beam of light inside the pool